Now we got Charlie Gasparino here. As we're looking to the left of your screen, I'm waiting the final vote for Betsy DeVos to be the next Education Secretary of the United States, and the likely role the Vice President will play to break a 50-50 tie that could be quite imminent. We'll break into Charlie if that's necessary. But on the tax cut thing and on the talk that it's still on, what do you think?
Well, I think you teed it up a lot. You did a lot of stuff on Fox Business and Fox News saying this thing is pushed way off. It's not good for the markets. And lo and behold, Donald Trump is a voracious viewer, not reader, but viewer of cable news, particularly Fox News. And that's when he started coming out and saying the thing is back on the table. It's going to be a second 100-day initiative, and we're going to cut your taxes. It's funny. I met McCarthy at the Super Bowl. He was sitting in the same box I was at, the Washington Redskins box.
So you weren't just in a seat. You were actually...
No, I'm in a box. Important people like me
sure.
go to boxes.
Absolutely.
I was with John Tatum. You know John,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
John's friends with Mr. Snyder, who owns the Redskins.
I was watching at home on TV.
Yeah, by the way, it's amazing.
Split screen, chopped, and
it's amazing being there. Yeah. I was on the field for the kickoff.
Were you really?
Yeah, oh, it was off the charts. I met so many important
people. By the way, I'm sorry, buddy. The vote is 50-50 here. So that means the Vice President will have to intervene and vote. And that is perfunctory.
On this vote, the yeas are 50.
Can we hear this, guys?
The nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the nomination is confirmed.
President.
Majority Leader.
I move to reconsider the vote on the nomination.
Question is on the motion to reconsider.
I move to table the motion to reconsider.
Question is on the motion to table. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. And the motion to table is agreed to.
I ask unanimous consent the mandatory quorum call be waived.
I missed the joke.
Without objection.
Well, there you have it. The mandatory quorum call will be delayed. I have no idea what that means. I can tell you this, though.
It's a parliamentary procedure there.
Absolutely, sure. What happened here is something you could tell your kids and grandkids about. For the first time, a Vice President of the United States has intervened to weigh in on what was essentially a tie, a cabinet pick. 50 senators supported Betsy DeVos to be the next Education Secretary of the United States. 50 did not. Among those who did not were 2 Republican senators, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Susan Collins of Maine. They were worried that more would join them, that is, more Republicans, and then the Vice President's vote would be meaningless. But as his role as President of the Senate, he broke that tie and just made it possible for Betsy DeVos to become the next Education Secretary. Vice Presidents have broken ties on budget issues. Remember the role that Al Gore played to get the Bill Clinton Tax Act through back in the early 90s. That was then. This is now. This is a totally different issue now. But again, the Vice President has broken that tie, and Betsy DeVos will be the next Education Secretary. By the way, this will clear the way for Jeff Sessions, next up, teed up to be Attorney General, Steve Mnuchin for Treasury, Tom Price over at Health and Human Services. Now to my friend Charlie Gasparino, rudely interrupted.
That's fine.
That is weird. It's weird, isn't it?
The whole thing is. Listen, it's interesting that how much of a lift this has been for the Trump administration to get people through. Mnuchin's going to be
she in particular, yeah.
Well, she was a lightning rod. I mean, she wasn't an education bureaucrat. She didn't speak the lingo of the education bureaucracy.
A lot of gotcha questions with her.
She didn't speak the lingo. She's a school choice, privatization hawk.
Right.
And the right loves her, the left loves her, and if you can, and the Dems were able to peel a couple of people in the middle that were wavering that may have issues. So
to be fair, she did not comport herself well in the confirmation hearing. She was new to this. Let's be fair. That's the risk you take when you go outside the petri dish.
Yes, she is not an education bureaucrat. She doesn't know all the lingo. I mean, she's a businesswoman who funded charter schools and believes in school choice. Mnuchin is going to have another set of issues, as you know. He's going to have business issues that he's going to have to explain himself through.
But he cleared the Finance Committee. Of course, that was a one-vote edge that Republicans had the advantage. Is there any danger that he...
Well, I think he's going to clear, but my view is they're worried. Listen, why did Vinny Viola, who's actually, full disclosure, a good friend of mine, I've known him for years, he's a Wall Street trader, owns parts of Eastern Airlines. Why did he pull out? Well, he's got business issues, and it gets murky. Mnuchin did not list some of his business issues. And I think Mnuchin will be a problem if he does not get confirmed. And I think the markets will trade off because it gets back to the tax.
What could stop it? The finances? He didn't give a lot of details on that?
The thing that when he did not, apparently he did not disclose a certain aspect of his holdings, and in a prompt manner, and then he finally did disclose it. If he doesn't get confirmed, it's going to be an issue for the markets because it's.
Well, what about some of the others? You're right. I mean, that could be. I still can't imagine him not getting through. But you could be right.
Me too.
Jeff Sessions, I think, with all the controversy, probably will.
Yep.
Tom Price at HHS, but there is a method to making it difficult, right? I mean. You want to send a message to the president and to those
and you want to stall his agenda. I mean, think about what Paul Ryan said before. We need to get Tom Price in there to be able to get rid of, to do the repeal and eventual replacement of Obamacare. We need to get, I mean, he didn't say this, but this is what he meant. We need to get Mnuchin in there to get the tax cuts going. But you think
Republicans are screwing up by making this health care thing their premier?
Well, I thought so, but, you know, far be it from me. I think that was Vice President Pence's call. A lot of movement conservatives.
Remember when Rand Paul was here, he said, well, if we're going to repeal the thing, we should have a replacement right away.
And not only that, think of the third rails that have stalled administrations in the past. Bill Clinton, health care, right? Remember, first term, got screwed up, Hillary care. Barack Obama doing health care really hurt the economy. He should have got the economy back on track with his stimulus plan, but then he opposed health care, which became kind of a mandate and a slowdown and a sort of
But I will give him credit in this regard. They ran the table when they had the run of the table, and they got a lot through. Now, you can criticize the consequences of their actions, but they knew how to run with that. Now, you could argue, did that hurt them? And I do think they were very effective at pushing that stuff through.
But he set up for a Donald Trump presidency, which is more recalcitrant than any other Republican needed to his agenda.
That's a big word. That's,
you know, I did well in my SATs.
Yeah. And I'm glad you had a good time at the Super Bowl.
But it was amazing.
Love watching.
But what McCarthy told me, I met him there, is that tax cuts, second 100-day thing.
How did you get on the field? It was just...
It's John Tatum.
Really?
He knows everybody.
Wow.
Who did I meet there? A-Rod, I met. I saw John Hamm, you know, Madman.
Sure.
Having post-Super Bowl.
Look at you there.
Hanging out.
You're just like...
With Aikman. That's Jay Glazer.
Sure, can't miss him a mile away. All right.
Saw Roger Goodell there. I saw our boss at the Inner Circle party.
So you went to parties besides?
Mr. Murdoch was there.
Okay, that'll do it with Charlie Gasparino. Just rubbing it in.
My last performance ever.
Yeah, exactly.